So a few weeks ago we made a video about the 4 Club Wimpy, and Juliane had a great question because you tried something out yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I tried to juggle a Wimpy with 3 balls.
And was it possible?
Didn't quite work.
Didn't quite work, which brings us to the question, is it possible to do an even numbered pattern with an odd number of objects, or an odd number pattern with an even number of objects? So we
that exists.
That's the big
Right.
question. That's what we're going to answer today. So you take the camera and let's do this thing. The way this works is the question that we're going to ask is, I actually wrote it down here so I get it right. Is it possible to do a 4-ball cascade? What do you think?
4-ball. No.
Yeah, well, that's what we're gonna try and ask, because this really brings up a big question of what is the name of a trick? Is the name of a trick a signifier for you to be able to communicate what the trick is to somebody else? And so if somebody says to me, juggle a 3-ball cascade, I would probably juggle something which looks a bit like this. This is kind of the canonical, unambiguous 3-ball cascade. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's just a way of doing it. But when you actually then ask, what is the 3-ball cascade? Are you just literally describing this pattern moment by moment, in the same way that if you had if you didn't have a camera doing it and someone had to animate it, you say, this is what the 3-ball cascade looks like, they would know unambiguously what it is. Okay. So that's the question that we're trying to answer today. It's sort of like, what is the essence of a trick that you have to be able to communicate with 1 word or 3 words? 3-ball cascade. That's what the cascade is.
So actually, a cascade is always something with uneven.
Again, this is the question that we're going to ask. So I'm going to go through some things which could be 4-ball cascades, and then we're going to try and work out why they're not a 4-ball cascade. Or let me put it this way, to work out exactly what a 3-ball cascade is, we're going to break it in numerous ways to try and find the limits of what a 3-ball cascade is. Is that a good idea? Okay. Okay, so let's do it. So, like I say, unambiguous, canonical 3-ball cascade. No question about it. Although some people are going to say, they're beanbags, not balls, but let's just stick with, this is, when I say hand, I'm talking about a hand. When I say ball, I'm talking about the object, like the manipulator and the object being manipulated. Is that a good start? Good. So, my first thing to do is, okay, here's what could this be a 4-ball cascade? So I'm just going to hold this ball here and go right here. Yeah? No? No, it's not moving. No, because
one thing is not moving.
Yeah, it's not moving. It's not actually in the pattern. But how about, tell you what, I'm going to hold this ball in this hand and then go like this. Is that a 4-ball cascade? No. No, well, it kind of was there because I let go of it by accident. But if I just do that, you're kind of thinking, well, there's the balls in my hand. I've got 4 balls in my hand, but there's not all of the balls involved. So that's not going to be good enough. Let's try something like this, okay? I'm going to do a pattern, and it's going to be looking a bit like this. First of all, we already know that this is not a 4-ball cascade because it already has a pattern. It already has a name. The pattern already has a name. It's called the 4-ball half shower. So, what is not cascade enough about this? For a start, let's just talk about the outside throw. One throw, this is only one of the things wrong with this. One of the throws goes over the top.
Yeah.
Which, when we looked at this pattern, we realised that none of the balls go over the top. There is a pattern where a ball goes over the top. It's called a tennis pattern, or you can do all of them over the top, which is called a reverse cascade, or you can do only over the top from one side. Again, that's called the half shower as well. Now, this is very obvious to jugglers, but you kind of got to understand that a cascade kind of has to be the balls are being thrown underneath. So let's do that 4-ball pattern again with the balls being thrown underneath. So how about like this? Is this good?
That looks convincing. It
looks convincing, but again, it's actually still not quite right because let's just listen to the timing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. And here we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. You see, it's kind of a galloped pattern. Okay, so let's put that into the definition of a 3-ball cascade, is that it has to be steady throws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but we can fix this pattern a bit by doing a high throw much higher and the low throw a little bit lower. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going with all the throws underneath, and the hands are working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's actually say that that's not allowed because, again, it's still just it's not a base pattern. The pattern, one hand is doing something different from the other hand.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say that with the 3-ball cascade, one of the defining characteristics of the 3-ball cascade is that all the balls go to the same height.
Yeah.
So let's try this. Same pattern again. The balls all have to go to the same height.
Yeah.
And it has to be a regular pattern. 1, 2, 3. So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like all of the balls going to the same height. But we already know this is not the cascade because this has got a name.
This is the thing that I noticed as soon as I started seeing people juggling. I thought, this is nothing. You basically
just doing 2 in one hand.
Yeah.
That's it. But it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter if it is a thing or if it's not a thing. It isn't the thing that we want because it's already got its own name. And the defining characteristic is that, like we've already pointed out, the balls don't go to the other hand. So let's put that back into the definition of the 3-ball cascade. The balls have to go to the other hand.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that other one is just kind of just tricking people.
So let's do this. All the balls have to go to the other hand. They all have to go to the same height.
Yeah.
And they all have to go on a regular pace.
Yeah.
So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that's a wimpy.
Yeah, it's a wimpy again. So we go, okay, so what's the difference between this and this is because, well, we're doing synchronous throws. So let's all say that it has to be a regular pattern, or regular beat, but also not synchronous. So this isn't good enough. But they go to the same height. The next thing that we could do is let's say they all have to go to the same height. Now I can cheat here by doing like this can go there, and then this can go there. Okay, so all the balls are going to the same height. Does that make sense? I'm throwing all the balls to the same height, and they're all going to the opposite hand. Oops, wrong one. You see? Does that make sense? So is that a 3-ball cascade?
I don't see a pattern.
Okay, what I'm saying is each one of these balls is going here. I'm always picking up the one ball here, but I'm alternating the other 2 balls.
Okay.
Okay, it's just a I messed it up there myself.
Table juggling.
Table juggling. So you may think, okay, table juggling not allowed. Well, how about, okay, they're all going to go to the same height. I'm going to go this one here, okay, and then how high is that? That's about there. So how about I go to here and then so catch it there. Although we're not going to have to do this trick. And then here and catch it there. Wait a second.
Yeah, but they're not thrown.
Yeah, and that goes across it. Yeah, so you go, well, they're not thrown. They're actually, there's what we call this is a placement. A placement is where you can go like this. Okay, so is this a 3-ball cascade? Is it?
Well,
It kind of is, in the same way that this is a 3-ball cascade.
Yeah.
But we realise now that once it leaves the hand, there's some dwell time, like it's not moving at some point, but not between the throws, but actually during the throw. So this is during the throw, and it's sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
And it's sitting here for a while, and it's sitting there for a while, and the same here.
The same when you hold it, yeah. It's not moving.
It's or even if you think I'm going to do a throw, and you can still do the throw. You can. Oh, that's a bit weird. So you can still do it while throwing in the same way that I'm throwing there, but there's actually dwell time during the throw. And I tried doing that with 4 balls. I should have just done it with 3 balls. So do you understand?
Yeah.
So let's say that for the canonical, a basic 3-ball cascade, the most basic thing is that there's no dwell time during the throw.
Yes.
Okay, well then we have to answer this question. Okay, is that good? Yeah, this is good. Is that dwell time? When it hits the floor, is it dwelling on the floor, or is it just bouncing back off the floor?
No, it's not on the floor, it's coming straight back. I would say this is a cascade.
You'd say this is a 3-ball cascade, that's pretty good. Although you did say the balls have to go underneath. I don't think anyone said, if you just said this is a 3-ball cascade, they'd say it's a bounce cascade, but I still think they'd say it's a cascade. So, here we go. No dwell time during the throws, all the throws going to the same height, not using any placements, not using the table. So how about something like this? Whoops, edit. How about something like this? So, check it out. All the balls going to the same height. Do you understand what's going on here? The problem is that if we're talking about height, we have to also include time spent out of the hand, okay? Yeah. Which comes to dwell time and throw height. For example, if we're talking about height, this is a 3-ball cascade, but this one, I'll throw this to a different height, like in a different position. Does that make sense?
It doesn't look like a cascade.
Well, it isn't a cascade, but all the balls are spending the same time in the air, but one of them is higher. In the same way that this could be a cascade, I mean, one hand is higher than the other, but they're actually all going to the same height, and they're all doing the same dwell time, okay? Yeah. So let's say the balls have to be out of the hand each time, the same amount of time, but also the hands, the things doing the juggling, have to sort of stay at the same height or in the same plane. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing that we kind of ruled out. No bounce juggling, no placements, each object has to spend the same time out of the hand as all of the other balls.
Okay.
So how about this pattern? Let's check this one out. What do you think about this?
That looks like a cascade, but you're cheating.
Yes, I'm cheating, but I'm swapping around, and I'm doing this in a color-coded way. So the blue balls always swap, and the white balls always swap. So it's blue, blue, white, white, blue, blue, white, white, blue, blue, white, white. Really nice pattern, nice color trick going on there, but it doesn't really work it out. So one of the rules that we have to say is that you're not allowed to keep two balls in the same hand at the same time.
Right, because it's only 3 balls in the air.
Yeah, it's only every
one time.
Well, it's not only 3 balls in the air at this one time. It's sort of like you're using your hand as a place to keep a ball when it could be in the end, it should be, but it isn't, you know.
Yes.
So even though it looks like a 3-ball cascade and it's got a pleasing white, white, blue, blue, white, white, blue, blue, nice and even, let's say that we're not going to allow multiplexing or 2 balls in the same hand at the same time.
Yeah, good.
Good one. Next step. 2 other options that we've got here are various different patterns where, what about this one? Okay, this is fulfilling everything that we've said so far.
This looks good.
It looks good. However, there's a hand free there. And there's a hand free there.
How many balls are there? 4.
It is 4, and you think, oh, 4-ball cascade.
Really nice.
It does look good, but actually all I'm doing is a 5-ball cascade with a hole in it. And I don't think that should be allowed. And the way that we'll rule this out is that all the balls have to be, that none of them can have a unique job in the pattern. So for example, let's do it this way. I'm going to do these ones. These 2 are going to be the first one. Or let me put it this way. This one is always going to be the one that's thrown first. And there's one that is always thrown first out of 4. Okay, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of the balls have their own place in the pattern. Yeah. It's like they're all chasing each other around. But check this one out. How about this? We actually see that all of these have the same job. It pauses for a while, but I think this is pretty good. What do you think?
Ta-tum, ta-tum, ta-tum. Yeah, it's good.
2, or if we make it really good, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There is good symmetry here.
Yeah.
1, 2. The pacing is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
That's quite cascade-like.
It's not one. I'm trying not to go like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, that's a bit
1, 2.
hard.
Or even go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not quite the Siteswap 5, 5, 2. The previous one would have been 5, 5, 5, 5, 0. And this one, if you do it with a different timing, could be 5, 5, 2. But I'm actually doing a slightly different pattern because the 5, 5, 2 is like a 5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 2. And I'm going 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So it's a different pattern. It's not really.
Could you mark that on Siteswaps?
It can be a Siteswap, but it's actually then a sync Siteswap. Weirdly, I'm not going to get into it. It's like 8x2, 8x2 star, kind of, I think.
Can I just quickly show my face?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to get too much into Siteswaps. However, if you say this is not a 4-ball cascade, we have to explain why. And I think it's quite clear why this might not be a 4-ball cascade is because it's going right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. So let's try that again. So if we go right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. The balls don't have unique places in the pattern. They're all swapping around. Sometimes they're being thrown first, sometimes they're not being thrown first. But here, the hands, the actual throws have unique parts in the pattern. Like sometime this is the first throw at the right hand, and then it's the second throw. So it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, right, 1, left, 1, right, 2, left, 2. You know, they each, then the hands have a unique pace in the pattern. So let's bring it all back. What is the next step? We could do, okay, we have to have the Siteswap 4, so each ball is thrown 4 beats later. Each hand has to go a regular beat later. It can't be like 1, 1, 1, 1, or 1, 2, 1, 2. It has to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There is a way around this, which is the Siteswap 4, which means everything is thrown 4 beats later, but we'll just do it with one hand, which gets us something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, oh, the ceiling's a little bit low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that'll have to do. So, the point being, you can actually loop it round 4. But then you think, well, is a cascade a two-handed pattern? Because that's just like a fountain. And you think, well, Siteswaps are for 2 hands, but they're not actually. Let me just show you something here, which I kind of spoiled before. If you get a Diabolo thing and type in 4, oh, I lost a thing. Type in 4, what does it look like? It looks like 1,
2. Oh yeah, it looks like that what you just did.
Yeah, it looks like what I just did. So that is possible. However, I don't think that's cascade enough, because we've already said that the balls have to go to the other hand.
Yeah.
But if we don't think the other hand, we think a different hand, and then we can divide 4 balls into 3 hands, we can get a cool pattern which goes a little bit like this. I need your hand. Okay,
yeah.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I'm counting the balls here.
Isn't
1, 2, 3, 4.
Passing?
It is passing, but did we say passing isn't allowed? What if this hand is my hand and this hand is your hand, and a 3-ball cascade could, like if this is one person's hand and this is the other, and I'm doing some Gandini juggling sharing, when Sean and Catty start their ball routine, their ball duet routine, and one of them does it in one hand, and one hand is in one hand and the other hand. It's still a cascade. I would say it's still a cascade. Would you say it would still be a cascade?
It is a cascade.
It is a cascade. So, does it have to be one person juggling?
No, it just needs 2 hands.
It just needs 2 hands with 2 balls, but could you then, with 4 balls, 3-ball pattern? And I think this is where we find our first unambiguous kind of, well, I can't really call it unambiguous, but this is where I think we really get to the point where we are at a 4-ball cascade and it needs 3 hands. But then if you say you're not allowed to pass, well, how about a thing where I'm going to do this?
Yeah.
So how about something like this? I go, am I in focus here?
Yeah.
So if I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I just want to do it 1, 2, okay.
Yeah, that counts.
You get the point. I used to be able to do that trick. But then you say, okay, you have to use your hands. Why? If you say you have to use your hands in a 3-ball cascade, I think we'll find some people who disagree with you. Let me go over to Final Cut Pro. Check out this guy. Can you see it? Is it there?
Yeah.
Check out Peter Irish here. What does he do? Tell me this is not a 3-ball cascade. Is that a 3-ball cascade?
Well, I don't know, because the balls are stationary on his feet.
Okay, but they're not stationary on his feet. Look, there's a 3-ball cascade in his hand and a 3-ball cascade in his feet at the same time.
Oh, right.
You see?
Yeah.
Let's actually go. He can do this. I mean, he does that on stage. He's got a cool video. So here he is walking down the street, 3 balls in his hand and 3 balls on his feet. I would say he's doing 2 different, it's not a 6-ball pattern. He's doing 2 different 3-ball patterns at the same time. Okay, if you're not allowed to use your feet, how about your elbows? Let me see if I can do it with the elbows. Another trick, which I'm probably not very good at. Let's give it a go. How would this look like?
With the outside elbow.
No, because I don't know how to catch it. No, I'll see if I can do this. Go look a bit like this. Oh no, what would it look like? 2, 3. Oh, that's even to the same height. What do I go? Here, there. Okay.
I personally can't really see the cascade in it.
But the point is, it's the same thing that we were doing with our hands, and we were both like, oh, that could be right. So you say, okay, maybe elbows aren't allowed, but then you have a look at something like, let me have a look at something like this. Okay, this is Lucas, and he does a thing like this. Is that...
That is a... Yeah.
Yeah, that... You've got to say that's a 3-ball cascade. Doesn't last very long, but he just does a 3-ball cascade on his elbows, looking much better than I did. Are elbows allowed in a cascade?
Well, if it looks like a cascade.
But here's the key thing, anything could be allowed. So let's check out Dave Kelly here. Not any body part at all, but still...
It's a cascade.
You can't call that anything except a 3-ball cascade.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, for a cascade to be a cascade, does all of the objects doing the juggling have to be the same thing? Can you use a hand, and a foot? Or does it have to be a hand, and a hand? Because I think when you get to the point where you're using different things to juggle, different manipulators, not equal manipulators, then one of them is unique.
Yes.
So you'd have to find body parts where each part isn't unique, and because humans are bilaterally synchronous, are bilaterally symmetrical, took me a few times to say that, it's really difficult for us to do what you call a pure 3-ball cascade. However, I think 3 people, we have only got 2 people here, but 3 people, one person standing here with an arm out, and then one person standing here with an arm out, and then one person standing here with an arm out, all facing into the middle on 3 points of a triangle, juggling 4 balls between the 2. I think that is the 4-ball cascade as much as pure as we can get it. Because each hand, everyone's using their right hand, everyone's facing the same thing. Instead of going for bilateral symmetry, we've gone for rotational symmetry around 3 different things, and that's what could make it. So, when someone says a 3-ball cascade, do they mean 3-ball cascade in 2 hands? Because a 4-ball cascade in 2 hands is not possible, but a 4-ball cascade in 3 hands is possible. 4 balls in 3 hands or 3 balls in 2 hands are both possible cascades, but most people assume when they're talking about juggling 2 manipulators, 1 hand, right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. It's what people normally think about. So here's the key thing. There isn't a what I wrote down. There's no 2-handed 4-ball cascade with Siteswap 4, not possible. A 2-handed 4-ball cascade with any Siteswap may be possible, or a 4-handed cascade, or a 4-ball cascade with Siteswap 4 is possible with 3 hands, but not all of them combined. The conclusion is, I think there are lots of things that are a 3-ball cascade. This is a 3-ball cascade, in the same way that this is a 3-ball cascade, in the same way that this is a 3-ball cascade. I'm just using different parts of my hand. In the same way that the tennis racket cascade is a cascade, and lots of things with tricks are a cascade, but there is one the cascade, and that is this.
Yes.
There isn't, I think that there are I think something can be a 4-ball cascade, but I don't think there is the 4-ball cascade. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense.
There are lots of things that can be a 3-ball cascade, but there is only one true, pure 3-ball cascade, and we've defined all the things that make it that. By changing any of those things, we break it. But there isn't a base pattern which can be called a 4-ball cascade, which doesn't have any weaknesses in what it is. It doesn't have any weaknesses in the description or what is in there. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, I think that's the end of the video. I hope people enjoyed this. Hope it didn't go too long, but that was a deep dive into what a 3-ball cascade is and the possibilities of a 4-ball cascade. Good.